Page 41. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jing Wuming looked young, but he was already built like a 15 or 16-year-old. Standing up, Jiang Chen barely reached his height. Jing Wuming seemed to catch his drift, and his head dropped suddenly. Did he figure out my little secret? He wondered. Jiang Chen found Jing Wuming's reaction amusing. It's not that you can't do some things, just everything in moderation, you know. Got it, Jing Wuming replied, standing up straighter. Master, what's the plan for Mtlnovel? You want me to? Jing Wuming mimed cutting his own throat. He was just a killer, killing was all he knew, and all he could do for Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen rolled his eyes. All you think about is killing. I've got some ideas, but I need you to keep tabs on him. Once he's running the palace, he might wish he were dead. Don't sweat it, Master. Mtlnovel hangs out with Miss CC almost every morning. Any secrets he spills, I'll be all ears. Jiang Chen nodded. Master, you haven't eaten yet. I'll take you out for a bite. Jiang Chen rubbed his stomach. Sounds good, don't mind if I do. Please, Master, don't say that. It's my honor. This way. Jing Wuming practically gushed. Jiang Chen followed Jing Wuming out of the academy. He'd considered inviting Tang San, but since Jing Wuming was his secret weapon, Tang San couldn't get too involved. By the time Jiang Chen finished eating, it was already afternoon. Jing Wuming had taken him to a popular spot in Notting City. The chef was way better than him, leaving him wanting more. Jiang Chen headed back to Notting College alone, while Jing Wuming went back to the killer organization. These days, Jing Wuming spent most of his time at Notting College, popping back to the organization daily to check in and take on the odd job. Jiang Chen lugged a big bag of stuff toward the student dorm. Notting Junior Soul Master Academy had just one dorm building, co-ed. All the work-study students lived in Dorm 7. Dorm 7 was the only dorm that wasn't divided by grade, housing students from every year. Jiang Chen, weighed down, pressed the number on the door and finally made it to Dorm 7. He peered inside, but Tang San wasn't there. Is this Dorm 7? He asked, double-checking the number on the door. Yup, Dorm 7 it was. So where was Tang San? Jiang Chen was puzzled. The quiet dorm erupted into chaos the moment Jiang Chen spoke. A dozen boys jumped up and blocked the doorway. A slightly older kid stepped forward, glaring at Jiang Chen. New work-study. Jiang Chen nodded. Is this Dorm 7? The taller boy perked up. That's right. Dorm 7 it is. Hey, Xiao Wu, we got a newbie. Come, welcome him. Jiang Chen barely had time to smile before he heard the name Xiao Wu. To his surprise, a little girl pushed her way through the crowd and stood in front of the boys. She was about Jiang Chen's height, with a round, peachy face and a long braid down her back. She stared at Jiang Chen with wide, curious eyes. Are you new to our dorm too? Xiao Wu asked excitedly. Jiang Chen nodded, still confused. Hadn't Tang San told his roommates he was coming? Awesome. You guys, back off. Come on, newbie, beat me, and you're the boss of this dorm. Xiao Wu looked ready for a fight. Jiang Chen was speechless. He hadn't expected this hazing ritual, especially not from Xiao Wu. He looked at the small girl in front of him. Cute, but tiny. Shaking his head, Jiang Chen said, no need to fight. I give up. I don't want to be the boss. Lame. Another chicken, someone hissed, and the boys dispersed, disappointed. Jiang Chen, still loaded down, tried to walk around Xiao Wu to find a bed. No way. You're the first newbie I've met since becoming boss. You have to fight me. Xiao Wu blocked his path, hands on her hips, face scrunched up. Can't I just give up? I'm pretty useless, Jiang Chen said helplessly. He might have been interested in fighting Tang San, but he couldn't get excited about fighting a little girl. Nope. Are you even a man? Too scared to take on a girl like me? Xiao Wu refused to budge. Jiang Chen lost his patience. He reached out and gently shoved Xiao Wu aside. Coward. Xiao Wu stomped her foot, fuming. She'd just become dorm boss and was ready to show off, but she'd run into a pushover. Page 42. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As she said that, she shook her head, and her long braid shot out, instantly wrapping around Jiang Chen's neck from behind. Get back here. Xiao Wu yanked hard, but Jiang Chen didn't budge, continuing to walk forward. She tried to pull him back with all her might, but he was so strong that she stumbled forward, nearly crashing into his back. Quickly recovering, she jumped, wrapping her bare feet around his neck. Now Jiang Chen's neck was entangled by both her braid and her feet. He smiled wryly, knowing he was trapped. Fine, let's see what you've really got. He stood firm, bracing himself to withstand whatever she threw at him. Xiao Wu, feet locked around his neck, wasn't holding back. Leaning against his back, she planted her hands on the ground, her whole body coiled like a spring. She used her legs and core strength, trying to flip him backward. A triumphant grin spread across her face. Tang San had been defeated by this move earlier that day, without even putting up a fight. She was confident nobody her age could survive it, but then, her expression changed. Chapter 33 Little Black Sparrow, look what Mtlnovel is doing. Her skill maximized her power through flexibility in leverage. The biggest weakness was that it could be countered by brute strength, but only if the opponent was vastly stronger. Otherwise, even someone stronger than her would fall victim to her move. She'd underestimated Jiang Chen. Even without transforming or using his spirit, his physical strength, amplified by his soul power, was unimaginable. She dug her feet into his neck, her hands on the ground, straining with every ounce of strength, but couldn't move him an inch. He felt like a mountain, and there was no way she could budge him. Xiao Wu's face flushed with effort, but Jiang Chen remained still. Finally, she gave up, loosened her legs, and rolled off. Are you even human? Xiao Wu stared at him, her face red with embarrassment. As the dorm leader, she'd been humiliated in front of her underlings. Jiang Chen turned to her with a smile. Nice flexibility, good glutes, but your strength needs a little work. You, jerk. Xiao Wu was furious, wishing she could tear him apart, but she'd used her best move, and it hadn't worked. The thought made her angry and frustrated. Jiang Chen ignored her, found a bed at the far end, and set down his things. The dorm was full of beds, mostly occupied at the front, but he picked one at the back, far from the others. Just like back in Holy Soul Village, he couldn't see himself hanging out with these kids, so he might as well sleep and have some peace. Just as he lay down, Xiao Wu approached him. Hey, now you're the boss of our dorm. Seeing her pout and knowing she was still sore about it, Jiang Chen chuckled. You didn't beat me, and I didn't beat you. We're even. I don't want to be boss, so you're still in charge. Really? Xiao Wu, who had been sulking, suddenly looked surprised. Seriously, go back to being boss, Jiang Chen said, waving his hand. Just then, Tang San walked in, returning from the teacher's dorm. He saw Jiang Chen and Xiao Wu inside. Jiang Chen, you're here, he said, walking over. Yeah, just got here. You guys know each other? Xiao Wu asked, surprised. Tang San nodded. We're from the same village. He pulled a paper bag from his pocket and handed it to Jiang Chen. This is for you. What's this? Jiang Chen asked, opening the bag. Inside was a chicken leg. The teacher gave it to me. I saved one for you, Tang San explained. Jiang Chen was touched. He didn't say anything but reached behind him, pulling out a large cardboard box and handing it to Tang San. What's this? Tang San opened it, and a rich aroma filled the air. It was a huge roast goose. I went out for lunch and brought it back for you, Jiang Chen said casually. Tang San stared at the goose, a strange look in his eyes. Feeling uneasy, Jiang Chen didn't hesitate, grabbing the chicken leg and taking a bite. What are you waiting for? Eat up. Share it if you can't finish it, Jiang Chen urged. Tang San nodded. He couldn't possibly eat the whole goose himself, so he took it to the front of the dorm. Xiao Wu glanced at Jiang Chen, licked her lips, and hurried after Tang San. Soon, satisfied noises filled the air outside the dorm. Jiang Chen, thanks for the goose. People kept shouting. Jiang Chen just smiled and nodded. Page 43. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That goose vanished in under 10 minutes, devoured by a bunch of kids, and suddenly everyone was giving Jiang Chen the warm fuzzies. A little later, Tang San came over and said, headed out tomorrow. The teacher's taking me to snag my first spirit ring. Okay, Jiang Chen mumbled, barely opening his eyes. So, you and Xiao Wu are gonna have to cover my chores for a few days. I already told Xiao Wu, Tang San said, looking sheepish. Don't sweat it, I got you, Jiang Chen yawned. I'm gonna crash. Tang San just stared at him, kind of dumbfounded. It was only afternoon, and Jiang Chen was already hitting the hay. He decided not to bug him and went back to his own bed. That evening, Jiang Chen woke up right on schedule. The others in the dorm were already meditating, beefing up their soul power. Tang San was chowing down on some coarse pancakes he'd brought from home. Jiang Chen had some in his bag too, so he grabbed a couple and headed out of the dorm. With dusk settling in, he wanted to find a place to practice. His training was a little out there, and he didn't want anyone watching. After wandering around the school, he finally found himself in a grove, the quietest, most out-of-the-way spot on campus. Hardly anyone ever went there. He scouted around for a bit, then bent his knees and hopped onto a big tree, settling cross-legged on a thick branch. From up here, you could see the moon without anything blocking your view. He could train in the room, sure, but it felt cramped, which bugged him. He liked feeling free, nothing in his way, soaking up the moonlight. Early the next morning, Jiang Chen went back to the dorm and saw that Tang San had already taken off. It was the opening ceremony for Nodding College, so he didn't wander off. After the ceremony, he headed back to the grove and started working on his lightning fist and 3,000 thunder movements. He could pretty much control the lightning fist now, and he wasn't faceplanting every other second. When he threw it, it packed a serious punch, almost as powerful as his first spirit ability, and when he used it, little arcs of electricity crackled around him. These arcs came from the corpse pill inside him and seemed to have a paralyzing effect. He was getting better and better with the 3,000 thunder movements, but he still couldn't nail the speed aspect, which was a pain. Even though he had the 10,000-year memory of a zombie, it wasn't all that helpful. That zombie's training was totally different, mostly focused on sucking blood. Plus, after that zombie leveled up, it developed some crazy supernatural powers. These powers were like instincts, and Jiang Chen couldn't learn them, so, besides his spirit skills, his main weapons right now were lightning fist and 3,000 thunder movements. That kid Jing Wuming's not at the academy. He must be tailing that Ma Ziyunuo guy, Jiang Chen muttered, looking in one direction. He could sense Jing Wuming was there, towards the spirit hall. Suddenly, a little black sparrow swooped down and landed on Jiang Chen's shoulder. It was a low-level corpse puppet, just a shell with basic instincts. Jiang Chen could use its eyes to see what was going on around it. Go! The little black sparrow flew towards the spirit hall. Jiang Chen wanted to see what the old man Ma Ziyunuo was up to. Chapter 34 Su Yuntao loses it. Thanks for the support. Third update. The little black sparrow was hauling butt, its eyes practically extensions of Jiang Chen's. Scenes of Nodding City flashed by in Jiang Chen's mind. Following his gut, he guided the sparrow to fly, and it finally landed on a massive building. He sensed Jing Wuming inside. The little black sparrow circled the building, then perched on a window. Holy crap! That's messed up. Jiang Chen, still back at Nodding College, couldn't help but blurt out, his eyes bugging out of his head. Back at the spirit hall, in the main hall downstairs, Su Yuntao was clearly wrestling with something. That morning, it finally clicked. He knew what that smell was that he'd been picking up in Matthew Noah's office. He was a young guy, been single for over 20 years. Of course he knew what it was, but since Matthew Noah's office was practically a holy place, he hadn't considered it before. Then he remembered Cece was always in Matthew Noah's office when that smell was around, and Su Yuntao started to freak out. It felt like someone had dropped a boulder on his chest, and he could barely breathe. Plus, Matthew Noah always went on about how beautiful and capable Cece was, and that seemed to mean something else now. he'd planned to ask Cece to lunch and subtly find out if his suspicions were right, but before he could find Cece, he saw her going into Mtlnovel's office. That's why he was so torn up. On one hand, there was his respected mentor, the guy who took him under his wing when he first joined the Spirit Hall. On the other, there was the girl he liked and had been chasing for 2 years, and an 81-year-old getting involved. It was just too much. Okay, I'll just go up there and see. Maybe I'm overthinking it, Su Yuntao told himself, heading upstairs, but another voice in his head nagged, what if I'm not? What do I do then? That if his fears were true, he honestly didn't know what he'd do. The closer he got to Mtlnovel's door, the harder his heart pounded, practically jumping out of his throat. When he was just a few feet away, he heard a strange noise. Page 44. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That voice was clearly being suppressed, and Su Yuntao went pale instantly. I knew it. A wave of despair washed over him. Normally, hearing that voice would have excited him, but now, all he felt was rage. She'd been smiling at him, giving him subtle hints, and now this? What did she take him for? And Ma Xiaonuo, that snake. Pretending to be his friend while making moves on the girl he liked. He couldn't believe it. Blood rushed to Su Yuntao's head. He felt like he was about to explode. Consumed by anger, he threw caution to the wind and kicked the iron gate with all his might. The twisted metal flying inward showed just how furious he was. The moment the gate gave way, Su Yuntao saw them. His eyes went bloodshot, ready to burst. Ma Xiaonuo and Cece froze in terror. Boom! Mtlnovel shoved Cece away like a cork popping from a bottle. Ha ha ha. Su Yuntao laughed maniacally. His martial spirit surged uncontrollably, the lone wolf taking over. A wild, violent aura radiated from him. Fear gripped Mtlnovel. Though he was a great soul master, a few levels above Su Yuntao, he was old. Su Yuntao was young and strong, and could tear him apart in seconds. Yuntao, it's not what it looks like. Mtlnovel said quickly, afraid Su Yuntao would lose it completely. Su Yuntao's blood-red wolf eyes glared at Ma Xiaonuo. Cece avoided his gaze, then, to Mtlnovel's surprise, he spun around and leaped out, jumping straight to the first floor. The commotion had already alerted the other members of the Spirit Hall. They started to head over to investigate, only to see Su Yuntao storming out. Mind your own business. Get back to work. Mtlnovel's booming voice stopped them in their tracks. What am I going to do? Cece's face was pale and panicked. She was terrified this would get out and ruin her chances. The Hall Master election was in 2 days. If the officials heard about this. We can't let him talk, Mtlnovel said grimly. He shared Cece's concern. A scandal now could cost him everything. For a moment, he considered killing Su Yuntao, but he quickly dismissed the thought. Go to him now. Play the victim. I know him, that kid is crazy about you. He'll keep it quiet for your sake. Once you're Hall Master, use your power to kick him out of the Spirit Hall. Then no one will believe a word he says, Mtlnovel instructed. But, what if he doesn't? Cece worried. If he's stupid enough to run his mouth, then don't blame me for throwing years of friendship out the window, Mtlnovel said coldly. I authorize you to use any means necessary. Remember, any means. If he doesn't agree, come back here immediately. Okay, I'll go find him now. Cece hurried out. In a dark corner, a pair of eyes watched everything unfold, unnoticed. Mtlnovel slammed his fist on the desk, sending water splashing, and snarled, Su Yuntao, I hope you're smart. Don't make me do something I'll regret. Under the watchful eyes of her colleagues, Cece rushed out of the Spirit Hall, searching for Su Yuntao. Everyone was confused. They didn't understand why Su Yuntao had suddenly snapped, or why Cece was now chasing after him. An older deacon, who looked to be in his 50s, smirked knowingly. I think I know what's going on, he whispered. What do you know? Spill it. A group of gossipers gathered around. The middle-aged man glanced at Mtlnovel's office, making sure he hadn't come out, and then whispered his theory. "No way, Master Mtlnovel is too old for that, isn't he?" A young man in his 20s exclaimed. "And with Cece? She's a goddess. Keep it down. You're hopeless. You're too short and broke. No one would even look at you." The middle-aged man swatted the young man on the head. He continued, "You young guys don't know, Master Mtlnovel had quite the reputation back in the day." "What reputation?" "Mtlnovel's martial spirit is a dog. What kind of reputation do you think he had?" he asked. Everyone shook their heads. The middle-aged man looked pleased and said proudly, "They called him Dog Days." "Ah, so he's just an old dog now. No wonder he's so horny." The young man blurted out. "Shoo. If you don't want to die, keep your mouth shut, got it?" Chapter 35, Cece's Satisfaction. Cece headed to Su Yuntao's house first. Page 45. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Yuntao, having worked at the Spirit Hall for years, had saved up enough to buy a house in downtown Notting City. Cece had been there several times. If Su Yuntao wasn't home, she'd have to search the whole city. Su Yuntao's place was a small, detached house. As soon as Cece arrived, she saw the courtyard gate had been forced open. "He really is here." Relief washed over her. Rushing upstairs, Cece found Su Yuntao, completely drunk. "Yuntao." She called. Su Yuntao spun around, his eyes bloodshot. Seeing his despair, Cece's heart skipped a beat. "What do you want? Why don't you go back to that old dog and enjoy yourself?" Su Yuntao slurred, taking another swig of wine. His eyes, once full of passion for Cece, were now icy cold. Cece rushed to him and grabbed his arm. "Yuntao, there's a reason for all this." It was the first time Su Yuntao had been indifferent to her touch. His heart felt dead. "Yuntao, I grew up in the slums. I'm sick of being poor. I just want a better life," Cece sobbed. "So you seduced him?" Su Yuntao said flatly. "He promised to make me the next palace master. But I still love you. Every time I'm with him, I secretly cry and feel terrible. But being palace master is my dream. I had to put up with his disgusting behavior. Yuntao, promise you won't tell anyone, okay? I really love you. If it wasn't for the palace master thing, I would have said yes to you a long time ago. Just do this for me, and once I become palace master, I'll kick that old fart Mtlnovel to the curb. I'll make you head deacon, and we'll rule Notting City Spirit Hall together." Cece pleaded, looking utterly pathetic. The last part wasn't a lie. She really envisioned that future. Su Yuntao stopped drinking, sitting in silence as Cece leaned against him, sobbing. Looking at her tears, he sighed. How could he just throw away years of love in a single day? He still loved Cece deeply. He pushed her away, saying coldly, "Go. We're done. And I won't say a word about any of this." "Yuntao, thank you for understanding," Cece said, tears of joy streaming down her face. She hadn't thought he would actually let her go. In that moment, something in her heart broke. Her love for Su Yuntao surged, stronger than ever. Su Yuntao's face was bitter. "All the years I gave to you that I in return, you thank me for understanding? For letting you be free? For letting you have your adventure? You're filled with sweet nothings, while all I can offer is understanding. You move forward into the future, while I'm stuck reliving the past." That Su Yuntao waved his hand, despondent. "Just go." Before he could finish the sentence, Cece lunged forward. You. Su Yuntao was speechless, his eyes wide. A wave of desire washed over him, threatening to drown out his reason. Maybe it was because of his spirit, but he was still a virgin in his 20s. This was his first time. How could he resist such a temptation? With the last shred of his will, he tried to push her away, knowing he shouldn't go any further, but before he could move, Cece made her next move. Su Yuntao's pupils dilated, staring at her beautiful face so close to his. He was lost. An hour later, Cece walked out, satisfied. Her smile was bright and carefree, all the gloom gone. She hadn't felt this happy in years. She finally understood her heart. She still loved Su Yuntao, but her ambition had blinded her. Mtlnovel, you old dog, go to hell. After the election, you'll pay. Perched on the eaves above Cece, a black bird with dull eyes suddenly took flight, flapping its wings towards nodding college. Jiang Chen looked away, sighing. Leave it to Tao to forgive that. And poor Cece, she doesn't even realize Mtlnovel is already planning her downfall. As he sighed, Jing Wuming returned, spotting Jiang Chen in the grove. Master, big news. Su Yuntao's gone crazy. Jiang Chen waved his hand. I already know. Page 46. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Right then, a black bird swooped down and landed on Jiang Chen's shoulder. He gently stroked its feathers a few times. It's all good. You don't need to keep tabs on the martial soul hall. Just focus on your training. Master, do you not need me anymore? I can still be of service, Jing Wuming said, sounding anxious. Jiang Chen smiled kindly. Nah, your training is way more important than keeping an eye on Mtlnovel. I already know where the martial soul palace is, so I can handle the surveillance myself from now on. If you train hard, I'll definitely need your help down the line. Understood, Jing Wuming replied, not daring to defy Jiang Chen's order. Then he added, Master, could you maybe cut Miss Cece some slack? I think she got played. She's kinda pathetic. Jiang Chen gave Jing Wuming a surprised look. Aren't you supposed to be a stone-cold killer? Why would you feel bad for some woman? I feel sorry for her, Jing Wuming mumbled, his face flushing. Figures, considering she gave you lessons for a couple of months, Jiang Chen chuckled, making Jing Wuming's face even redder. Don't worry about it. She's just a greedy, dumb woman. I promise I won't kill her. Thank you, Master, Jing Wuming said gratefully. Alright, get back to training. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat, Jiang Chen said, heading out. After Jing Wuming respectfully saw Jiang Chen off, he resumed his training. Man, a guy's gotta eat. I'm starving, Jiang Chen sighed. He suddenly felt a pang of envy for Jing Wuming. He didn't need to eat, and he could go for days on a single blood drink, which actually boosted his power, but he quickly shook his head. He could suck blood too, and it was tempting, but his old life's principles told him it was wrong. Sure, blood might taste good, but so did regular food. Given the choice, he'd much rather live a normal life. After eating, he went back to practicing in the woods. Jing Wuming was amazed by his weird fighting style, but he didn't dare ask about it. 2 days flew by. Chapter 36. The election begins. In the Martial Soul Hall, in Mtlnovel's office, Mtlnovel was half-heartedly reviewing some documents. Suddenly, he tossed his pen aside and stood up, clearly annoyed. Cece had come back the day before yesterday afternoon, reporting that she had convinced Su Yuntao, but she hadn't been back to his office since. He hadn't been with Cece for 2 days, and he felt empty. He stormed out of his office and barked at Cece, who was working in the lobby on the first floor. Cece, get up here. Mtlnovel's face was blank, making it impossible to tell what he was thinking. He turned and walked back into his office. Su Yuntao, who was standing nearby, felt his blood boil. Cece quickly gave Su Yuntao a reassuring look and said softly, I'll be right back. Since that day, she had quietly been staying at Su Yuntao's place without anyone noticing. When Cece entered the office, Mtlnovel jumped up, ready to make a move. Cece quickly pushed him away and snapped, he's here. Who? Mtlnovel froze for a moment, then realized what she meant. He frowned and said, that's not until later this week. Cece rolled her eyes. I've been stressed lately, so I moved it up a few days. Mtlnovel had no choice but to give up and slumped back into his chair. Honey, the election's tomorrow. Have you taken care of everything? Cece asked. Mtlnovel nodded. Don't worry. I'll make sure you're recommended as the new hall master. No one will object. I love you, Cece winked. Oh, and the envoy arrived in Notting City this afternoon. You and that kid Su Yuntao need to go meet him and take him to the Notting Hotel, Mtlnovel said. Cece was the beauty of the Martial Soul Hall, and Su Yuntao was the most handsome young guy, so Ma Ziyunuo figured they'd make the best impression. Okay, don't worry. I'm heading out to run errands now. Alright, go on, Mtlnovel waved his hand. After Cece left, his eyes lit up with excitement. Tomorrow, he would become the master of the Notting City branch hall. It was his lifelong dream, and after all these years, it was finally coming true, and he would recommend Cece to be the new chief deacon. After all, Cece had been with him for months, and he'd need to keep her sweet in the future. As for Su Yuntao, he was nothing but an eyesore in the Martial Soul Hall. Matthew would use his power as hall master to force Su Yuntao into early retirement. Outside the office window, a black bird perched, its dull eyes darting around. The show's about to start, Jiang Chen said, stretching. Jiang Chen, are you trying to bully me? Hurry up and sweep. I'm almost done sweeping this huge garden, Xiao Wu yelled, hands on her hips. Coming. You go relax. I'll take care of the rest, Jiang Chen said, waving Xiao Wu away. Page 47. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tang San's been gone for days, and since the job was meant for 3 people, he and Xiao Wu have to pick up the slack. Xiao Wu finally cracked a smile. Alright, you keep sweeping. I'm gonna go rest. Jiang Chen waved her off. Yeah, go on. A beat later, it hit him. Xiao Wu barely swept anything. She totally fooled him. After finishing the sweeping, he went to the grove to practice. Before long, Jing Wuming showed up. Master, I've got what you asked for. Is this for Mtlnovel? Jing Wuming inquired. Jiang Chen just waved his hand. You'll see. Trust me, he'll wish he were dead, hee. Hearing Jiang Chen's laugh, Jing Wuming got the chills and suddenly felt a pang of pity for Mtlnovel. Time zipped by. Early the next morning, the spirit hall buzzed with activity. Today was the day the envoy was arriving. The floors, doors, windows, and walls of the spirit hall gleamed. Mtlnovel and a bunch of deacons were already waiting at the gate. The envoy was staying at the Notting Hotel, and Su Yuntao and Cece had already gone to fetch her. Heard the messenger this time is a real looker, someone whispered. Seriously? How'd you find that out? Everyone's ears perked up. Su Yuntao and Cece went to pick someone up yesterday, right? They were yakking about the messenger when they got back. I overheard M. Oh yeah? Prettier than Cece? The short young man asked. Way prettier. That figure, that face, wow. Yeah, right, like you've seen her before. As they gossiped, a carriage slowly pulled up to the spirit hall gate. Su Yuntao and Cece led the way. When the carriage stopped, Su Yuntao quickly opened the curtain. Master Envoy, we've arrived. Everyone held their breath as a plump, smooth leg emerged, instantly capturing their attention. Mtlnovel couldn't help but swallow hard. Then, a woman who looked to be in her 30s stepped out. She wore a knee-length skirt and white jade anklets, paired with a spirit hall uniform. Her waist was cinched tight, emphasizing her curves. The male deacons in the spirit hall nearly popped their eyes out of their heads. Her figure was several notches hotter than the already mature Cece, and her face was in a different league altogether. Delicate features, a round face, long blonde hair neatly piled on top of her head, and red-rimmed glasses. A mature, refined, and intellectual vibe radiated from her, leaving everyone speechless. She's gorgeous. Everyone murmured. Mtlnovel practically drooled. Master Mtlnovel, the envoy has arrived, Cece reminded him. Oh, right, hello, Master Envoy. I'm Mtlnovel, Chief Deacon of the Spirit Hall branch in Notting City. Mtlnovel stammered with a fawning smile. the woman nodded slightly, unfazed by the crowd's reaction. It seemed like the norm for her. I'm Chief Deacon Zidian. You can call me Deacon Zhou. Deacon Zhou, we've been waiting a long time. Please, come in, Mtlnovel said, ushering her inside. The woman moved with purpose and directed Mtlnovel to take her to the meeting hall. Everyone took a seat around the long oval table. The woman scanned the room, her invisible aura of authority making everyone sit up straighter and avoid looking at her directly. I'm here on business, and I'll be leaving after we handle your matters this morning. Let's get started. The election process was simple. Everyone cast a vote. The woman adjusted her glasses. All right, let the voting begin. Mtlnovel and CC exchanged smiles. This was the moment they'd been waiting for. Start, chapter, edited content. I support Master Mtlnovel. I support Master Mtlnovel. I vote for CC. I support Deacon Wang. Su Yuntao arrived soon after, and he said without hesitation, I support CC. In the end, only Mtlnovel and CC were left to vote. CC was already smiling. I vote for myself. Page 48. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are 15 people total. Mtlnovel has 7 votes, she has 4, and Deacon Wang has 3. Mtlnovel promised her that, once elected, he'd step aside and recommend her as the new palace master. She didn't know that Mtlnovel had swayed almost all the deacons. He even arranged for Deacon Wang to run, just so the election didn't look rigged. Then, Mtlnovel stood up, grinning. Thanks for your trust and support over the years. I guess I'll stay on and keep contributing to the Hall of Nodding. I vote for myself. Enthusiastic applause erupted, leaving CC stunned. Shouldn't Mtlnovel be recommending her? Why nominate himself? Su Yuntao's face flushed with anger. He shot to his feet. I object. Oh. Any reason why? Deacon Zhou asked, her voice pleasant. She liked the young man who'd picked her up, and was curious to hear what he had to say. Su Yuntao stammered, unable to speak. Was he supposed to reveal CC and Mtlnovel's dirty laundry? If he did, CC would be too humiliated to stay in the spirit hall. CC's face paled. She reached for Su Yuntao's hand, her eyes pleading. Never mind, Su Yuntao said, sinking back into his seat, a dark look on his face. Deacon Zhou nodded. She suspected something was up, but didn't have time for the drama. She turned to Mtlnovel. Master Mtlnovel, you have the most votes, but you aren't getting any younger. Are you sure you want to be hall master? Mtlnovel puffed out his chest, his voice full of passion. Deacon Zhou, I'm still going strong. I can easily serve the spirit hall for another decade. Deacon Zhou nodded, dropping the subject. She was there just to witness the election. She then personally presented the hall master's token to Mtlnovel, officially declaring him the new hall master. Deacon Zhou was in a hurry to leave. After seeing her off, Mtlnovel was bursting with pride, his old face practically glowing. He didn't bother returning to the meeting hall. He announced to everyone, thank you for your support. I'm honored to be the hall master. From now on, call me hall master. No need to be formal. Also, the position of head deacon is open. I plan to give it to CC. Any objections? Everyone looked surprised. Mtlnovel hadn't mentioned this before. Deacon Wang's face darkened. Mtlnovel had promised him the head deacon spot. Now he was giving it to CC, that little slip of a girl. But he didn't dare object. Mtlnovel was in charge now, and disagreement would mean trouble. No objections. No objections. Everyone agreed, but CC's expression was sour. She said nothing. Mtlnovel, you jerk, you old dog, what a slimy move. Su Yuntao exploded, cursing him out loud. Mtlnovel's smile vanished. He'd planned to deal with Su Yuntao later, but Su Yuntao had struck first. Su Yuntao just insulted the palace master in public. How should we handle this? Mtlnovel shouted. Someone immediately chimed in, eager to please. Strip him of his deacon status. Throw him out of the spirit palace and never let him back in. Mtlnovel smirked, nodding. Excellent. Do it. Su Yuntao roared and transformed, ready to attack Ma Xiaonuo and get justice for Cece. Yuntao, no. Cece screamed. Mtlnovel panicked, backing away and waving his hands. Get him out of here. Soon, Su Yuntao was tossed out, bruised and battered. Cece ran out after him. Yuntao, are you okay? Mtlnovel came out, frowning. Cece, you're the head deacon now. Why are you hanging around with this guy who just insulted me? Ma Xiaonuo, I don't want to be head deacon. Yuntao, let's go. Cece snapped, helping Su Yuntao to his feet. A crowd quickly gathered at the entrance of the spirit hall. Mtlnovel watched them leave, his face dark, his heart burning with anger. He couldn't believe that Cece, always so hungry for power, would choose Su Yuntao. Losing the only young, beautiful female soul master was a bitter pill. A murderous thought crossed his mind. Back at Nooding Junior Soul Master Academy, Jiang Chen smiled. Jing Wuming, who was standing next to him, asked, Young master, did that old Ma Xiaonuo become palace master? Jiang Chen nodded. Things are going according to plan. Ma Xiaonuo became hall master, but surprisingly, Cece gave up the head deacon position for Su Yuntao. He then explained the situation to Jing Wuming. Jing Wuming, with his simple sense of right and wrong, liked Cece. He immediately said angrily, damn that old geezer. Page 49. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Chen said, don't sweat it. It's not like he can just decide to die. Remember what I asked you to prep? Find a way to get Cece alone. Jing Wuming's eyes lit up. After hearing Jiang Chen's plan, he clapped and said. Dude, that's brilliant. Ma Xiaonuo's totally screwed now. Suddenly, Jiang Chen perked up his ears. He smiled and said, sounds like a brawl's going down. Let's check it out. The noise was coming from the back gate of the academy. Not far away, outside the back gate, there was a small hill and a wooded area. As Jiang Chen and Jing Wuming stepped out, they heard a yell, just you wait. I'm calling my boss. Then, Xiao Wu's voice dripped with disdain, call whoever you want. We work-study students aren't afraid of you guys. Whoa. Isn't Boss Xiao the toughest dude in the academy? He's got a boss. Someone tougher than him? Someone shouted in shock. Another voice chimed in, equally scornful, you work-study types are toast. When our boss shows up, 100 of you wouldn't stand a chance. Suddenly, Wang Sheng, a work-study student, seemed to realize something. He took a deep breath and said anxiously, Tang San, Xiaowu, let's get out of here. We're dead if we stick around. Why you gotta be such a chicken? Xiao San and I ain't scared. What's your problem? Xiao Wu said, annoyed. Wang Sheng got more and more frantic. Xiao Wu, they're right. When that guy gets here, none of us are going anywhere. Chapter 38, I wanna confess at Jiang Chen's grave, gimme some love, collections and recommendations. What's this guy even packing? Tang San and I are both 11th level soul masters. What's there to be afraid of? Xiao Wu retorted, still unhappy. I heard he's already reached the great soul master level, Wang Sheng said, his face paling. If they waited for that guy to show up, they were probably all going to get their butts kicked. Seriously? Xiao Wu's expression shifted. Tang San, let's bolt. We can't take on a great soul master. Huh, getting scared now, huh? Too late. Just be a good little bunny and be my pet. A booming laugh echoed. Xiao Qinyu, the boss who'd just run off, swaggered back, trailed by two figures, Jing Wuming, who was about his height, and Jiang Chen. Boss Jing, this is the trashy work-study group that dared to disrespect us. Teach em a lesson, will ya? Boss Xiao was practically groveling in front of Jiang Wuming. Just now, Tang San had beaten all of his underlings, and even Xiao Qinyu himself had gotten roughed up. Before, he would have backed down, but now he had backup. He didn't care about the work-study students, especially the lowly rabbit. Thinking about being able to hold it in his arms and play with it in the future, his heart began to get excited. Xiao Wu looked grim. She couldn't figure out Jiang Wuming's power level, but she could tell it was off the charts. He really might be a great soul master. She couldn't understand why Jiang Chen was hanging out with this guy, but right now, avoiding a fight was definitely the smart move. Seeing that Jiang Wuming wasn't making a move, but seemed to be asking the kid next to him for his opinion, Boss Xiao was confused. Boss Jing, those two kids just became soul masters. You could take them down with one hand tied behind your back, Boss Xiao urged. Jiang Wuming finally turned his head and looked at him. Without a word, he slapped him across the face. The slap was so strong that it sent Xiao Qinyu flying. Blood and teeth sprayed out, and half his face ballooned up instantly when he hit the ground. Unconscious, the noisy crowd went dead silent. Xiao Qinyu's cronies were all slack-jawed. What was Jiang Wuming doing? Then, to their astonishment, Jiang Wuming and the kid next to him walked toward the group of work-study students. Jiang Chen, you know this guy? Why didn't you say so? You had me worried for nothing, Xiao Wu complained. Then, she looked at Jiang Wuming with curiosity and thought, this person is not very old, he is already a great soul master. Is it really so easy for human beings to cultivate? Let's go, Jiang Chen said. Wang Sheng, who had been terrified of Jiang Wuming, suddenly perked up and yelled, who's gonna mess with us work-study students now? Under the awkward stares of the regular students, the work-study students swaggered off. Back at the academy, Tang San quickly said goodbye and left in a hurry, saying he was going to the spirit hall for his soul master certification. Jiang Chen shook his head. Tang San was probably going to get his certification from Ma Ziyunuo, but Su Yuntao wouldn't be the one to receive him this time, and this Matthew Noah won't last long. Jiang Chen said to Jiang Wuming, stick to the plan. Go. Jiang Wuming bowed respectfully and left. Xiao Wu, Wang Sheng, and the other work-study students stared, their jaws dropped. Jiang Chen, why does that guy call you young master? He's a great soul master. Xiao Wu blurted out. Jiang Chen sighed inwardly. He seemed to have blown his cover. Fine, I'll come clean. I'm actually a rich kid. No way. Tang San said you're from the same village as him, Xiao Wu protested, clearly not buying it. If you don't believe me, ask Tang San. He knows I'm loaded, Jiang Chen said without missing a beat, because Tang San knew that Jiang Wuming was also a zombie, so he definitely wouldn't reveal Jiang Chen's secret. Meanwhile, at Su Yuntao's house, Su Yuntao gently stroked Cici in his arms. Cici, you're so good to me. I'm going to treat you like gold for the rest of my life. Page 50. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Cici squeezed Su Yuntao tight, listening to his heartbeat, her face beaming. Yuntao, I did so many dumb things before, and you still forgave me. Meeting you was the best thing that ever happened to me. Su Yuntao hugged her even tighter, like he wanted them to become one person. Yuntao, you have no idea. That old snake Ma Ziyunuo is just evil. He's afraid you'll challenge him for the Hall Master position, so he ruined your career and deliberately killed that kid you found in Holy Soul Village. What? Su Yuntao sat up, stunned. You're talking about Jiang Chen? His voice shook. The news of Jiang Chen's death had hit him hard, he couldn't just forget about it. Cici nodded. That's the kid. Matthew killed him somehow and made me lie to you. I was supposed to say that I saw the kid die, but I wasn't even in Holy Soul Village that day. Su Yuntao was speechless, then suddenly broke down in tears. It's all my fault, all my fault. If I hadn't sent the report to Matthew Noah, the kid would still be alive. I killed him. Cici held Su Yuntao's head close, trying to comfort him. It's not your fault, really. Blame that old dog. He'll get what's coming to him. Su Yuntao suddenly jumped out of bed and started throwing on his clothes. I have to go to Holy Soul Village. I'm the reason Jiang Chen is dead, so I need to visit his grave and give his family some money. He grabbed his savings and gathered up a pile of gold soul coins. I'll go with you, Cece said, getting out of bed. No, you stay here and wait for me. Then be careful on the road, okay? Su Yuntao left the house and sprinted towards the city gates without even thinking about a carriage. He couldn't wait to get to Holy Soul Village, confess at Jiang Chen's grave, and comfort the kid's grandfather, old Jack. After seeing Su Yuntao off, Cece turned to go upstairs, when a figure suddenly leaped over the wall. It was a young guy in black, maybe 5'7", with a plain face and a cold look. Who are you? Cece took a few steps back, wary. She was already getting ready to call on her soul power and summon a martial soul. Jane Wuming grinned. Miss Cece, don't freak out. I'm not here to cause trouble. No trouble? Then why break into my house? Cece scoffed. Jane Wuming cut to the chase. You want to get back at Mtlnovel, right? I know a way to make him wish he was dead. Chapter 39, a front row seat to a good show. Who the hell are you? Cece's face changed. How did this guy know she had a problem with Mtlnovel? Her soul power surged, ready to unleash her martial soul. Jiang Wuming waved his hands fast, stepping back. Who I am doesn't matter. The thing is, I also have a score to settle with him. We have a common enemy, so I'm here looking for your help. Cece held back her martial soul, but she was still suspicious. Why should I trust you? Why should I work with you? Jiang Wuming said. Mtlnovel might look like a sweet old man, but he's more vicious than anyone. He'll kill an innocent kid. Do you think he'll let you get away with turning on him? Or Su Yuntao? You better believe he's coming for revenge, and when he does, you'll wish you'd done something sooner. Cece went pale and stumbled back. Jiang Wuming was right. Did she really think Mtlnovel would let her and Su Yuntao live happily ever after? Seeing his words had landed, Jiang Wuming stepped forward. You're on his bad side, and he won't let you live. If you want to make a life with Su Yuntao, you have to make the first move. Working with me, we can make that old geezer the most hated man around. He'll be begging for death. Cece looked up at the guy, now standing right in front of her. She noticed his eyes looked sincere, like he really meant what he was saying. She had to admit, he had her attention. Can you at least tell me who you are? And how do you know my secret? Jiang Wuming shook his head. You don't need to know any of that. All you need to know is we both want him gone. So, are you in or out? Cece was torn, unable to decide. Jiang Wuming shook his head. If you're not interested, then get ready for Mtlnovel to come knocking. He turned towards the door. Cece got anxious. Wait. What do you need me to do? Jiang Wuming smirked and turned back. It's a little complicated. You mind if we go upstairs and I explain it in private? Cece nodded. Come on. Half an hour later, Cece stared, speechless, at the small bottle of powder on the table, struggling to process everything. It was cold. If this worked, Mtlnovel would be finished. The laughing stock of Douluo Continent. Thinking of what Mtlnovel had done to her, Cece's face twisted with hate. This time, Mtlnovel was going down. Cece sprang into action. She threw on her Spirit Hall uniform and headed for the Hall of Spirits. She had to get back in Mtlnovel's good graces so she could get close enough to deliver the final blow. Plus, she was afraid that if she waited any longer, Mtlnovel might come after her and Su Yuntao. That afternoon, the deacons in the Spirit Hall were shocked to see Cece back at work. Mtlnovel was thrilled. He didn't care what was going on between Cece and Su Yuntao. As long as Cece was still in the Spirit Hall, he was happy, and just like that, Cece was back as the chief deacon.